T-Mobile Arena reserves June 10th for Mayweather McGregor. Good.
Yes.
Good googly moogly.
It's fucking happening.
How is that going to happen?
What do you mean?
How you think the UFC and Mayweather come to an agreement?
Yes, that's what's happening.
And
Because
Conor comes to an
T-Mobile in
agreement?
Vegas is in cahoots with the UFC. I guarantee the UFC's involved.
But the report, who knows who made that report?
Pretty legit.
You might
I
have
bet.
did it on the way over here.
I might have. I might have. I think it's gonna happen, man.
Wow, you really think so?
I really do. And you're asking me commentating it. So let's just figure this out now. You want to talk
June
logistics?
10th.
What are you doing June 10th? Probably companion with me.
Man. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, if you're not commentating, we need to do a giant companion for it and fucking
that would
celebrate the shit out of it.
I would prefer that, honestly.
June 10th.
June 10th.
It's about to get real.
Not if my man Mayweather throws you that TMT money.
I don't think they really care about me commentating. They'd probably want Max Kellerman or the boxing people
Bro,
to do it.
Max Kellerman and you,
It would be fun. I would love to do it with them. But
that's
it's
the
it's
attitude.
a boxing match. You know, that's their world.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was an
They don't
MMA
know Conor,
match
though.
and he was sitting down next to me doing commentary, you know, I think that would be a little odd too.
Not if Floyd was just doing boxing in the octagon. You know what I'm saying?
You think it'd be in an octagon?
Well, no. I'm saying if the roles were reversed.
Oh,
I think
right.
you could talk about moving Conor's history because they're not going to know shit. Let's be real.
Right.
They're going to be like Shannon Sharp talking about UFC. It's
Right.
tough to listen to. It's going to be good to have someone who's knowledgeable break down like Conor's history, how he came here, how he got his movement, what he's known for. I think that's super important. You have to have
For
a guy
people who
with
don't
UFC
watch
knowledge.
UFC.
Yeah, because you're getting a shitload of new boxing.
You know what sounds
fans
better?
Tune in.
Hanging out with you guys, smoking weed, watching it right here. That sounds so much better.
I just want my dear friend Joe Rogan part of the biggest fight of combat in history.
I'm good. I'd like
It'd
to
be a
sit
big deal.
right here.
You're crazy. You don't think that's the biggest fight in history?
I'll
Is
live
it? You think
tweet
it's the
it.
biggest fight in history? Bigger than
Yeah.
Ali,
Yeah.
Frazier?
Yes,
Oh,
number-wise, yeah.
Yeah, it's the biggest
Yeah.
fight ever.
Biggest pay-per-view ever.
Because it brings in two worlds. It brings in the UFC world, and there's one guy who's unquestionably the biggest star in the UFC, unquestionably by a long shot. And then you bring in a guy who has been one of the biggest moneymakers in the history of boxing.
Change the game.
The only guy to go 49-0 other than Rocky Marciano. I mean, he's like right there, and we'd love to break Rocky Marciano's record. And then, you know what, man? When people want to do things like break someone's record, and you want to do it so bad that you take on a guy who's never had a boxing match before, and then that guy starches you.
It'd be so sick. It'd be so sick.
I mean, it's not
If
likely.
he does that, I'm going to build
But
a
if he
shrine
did
to
it,
him and pray to it every day.
There's something
I
about
might get a
that
tattoo
dude,
on my
man. I'm telling you, there's something about that dude. He's got something going on.
Magic.
He's got a little something extra special, but he would need everything to line up. It would have to be the McGregor or Mayweather would have to dismiss him as a threat. He'd have to not train hard enough. He'd have to not seriously consider the possibility that Conor connects on him and knocks him out.
Right.
And then Conor would have to do some roughhousing. He would have to hold him in the clinch.
Nasty, yeah.
He'd have to hold him and hit him. He'd have to try to get off as many shots and bully him around and wear him out.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. He's a much
It would be
bigger man.
nuts.
He's a much
Quick,
bigger
too,
man.
for how big he is.
Yeah.
Very, very quick.
But if you compare the two of them frame-wise, like what if they ever do it and they're standing right at each other, looking down at each other, you know, doing eye to eye, you're going to go, oh, shit.
Yeah, Conor's way bigger.
Because you remember when Eddie Alvarez was going eye to eye with Conor and you realize how big Conor's head is? You're like, Jesus
just
Christ.
overall, just a bigger dude.
He's
From shoulders, his legs.
He's a big fuck. I mean, he can make that 145-pound cut when he's on death's door, but Mayweather makes it easy.
What are they going to fight at? 45?
That's a good question.
No.
Mayweather was fighting at 154 his
Yeah,
last
54.
few fights.
Wow.
So I bet they do it at like 55, 60 maybe.
Maybe. Depends
Who
on
knows?
what Mayweather's comfortable with.
But I think in Dana White, you want to be part of that fight. If you're Dana White, you want to be in cahoots with all these guys, with Mayweather, Floyd,
or
and Conor.
you don't want the fight to take place at all. And look, he got
man.
fucked because Nurmagomedov got sick making that weight. If Nurmagomedov didn't get sick making that weight, then
Who got
Nurmagomedov and
fucked?
Tony Ferguson, Dana White did.
Oh, okay.
They're like the
I thought you were
UFC
saying Conor did.
No, the UFC did. Because look, the real fight is the winner of Tony Ferguson and Khabib Nurmagomedov
In the UFC.
right? So that's the real fight, as like being a big challenge for Conor, and that could be $1 million+ pay-per-view
As a
buys.
purist,
right?
ooh.
Especially if you either have that fight or the better fight financially is another fight with Nate Diaz.
No, the better fight financially is Mayweather.
Oh yeah, for boxing,
But not even
For
close. No,
sure.
I'm saying for Conor
Oh no,
McGregor.
for sure.
For Conor as a business, that's by far the best fight.
100% agree
What do you
with
think
you.
he's
What
gonna
I'm
make?
saying, and
20 million?
way more than
Oh,
that.
excuse
Conor?
me, sir.
100 million.
Conor?
Like 100
Probably
million.
100.
100 million each.
And Floyd too?
This is a good fight.
They talked a lot of shit.
The first
to each other.
fight, of course they did. Well, the first fight, Tim Means hit him with an illegal knee that a lot of us were unsure of.
Mm-hmm.
I fucked that one up too.
I use
Because-
illegal knees all the time.
See, because he's got one knee on the ground, two hands up, and we were like, ooh. And here's the thing: all he had on the ground was a knee. He actually had even lifted his other leg up, and he didn't even have his foot on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, there was that whole thing of points of contact.
Yeah.
Say you'd have to have at least 3 points of contact. He actually only had 1 point of contact. But if it's not the bottom of your foot, it doesn't count. So that's where it was so confusing.
It's
so
tricky.
confusing that even Mark Ratner, when we went to him in the fight for clarification on the rules, he said it was legal. He said it was a legal knee. And then Big John McCarthy pulls me over and goes, no. He goes, that's fucking illegal. I go, okay, it is illegal. I go, so it's when you say points of contact, like if it's only just a knee, if only the knee is on the ground and the foot's not even on the ground and the other foot's off the ground, that's a downed opponent. And he's like, yes, anything but the soles of the feet. That's what it should say. Anything but the soles of the feet. So my thought was, well, what if some guy shoots a power double on you? Right? And his knee's on the ground as he's sliding in, which it often is. And you fucking knee him to oblivion as he's moving into that.
transition, so it doesn't count, right?
Does it?
No, same
Is
like
that
him
a
behind the
transition?
ear.
But that's not really a transition. I mean, that's a guy making his approach, and you're countering his approach, and he is a downed opponent. He's got a knee on the ground. He's sliding towards you. I think that's a downed opponent.
But wouldn't that be the same like with a wheel kick? A lot of time it's behind the ear, but it's
yeah.
in transition.
That's a creepy one. I think it's different but similar.
Very similar.
That Eddie
'Cause
and
in
I
the
have
heat
talked
of the
about that a million times
moment.
because
It's like
it's the best
you-
position
you
to be
see-
if you get the guy's back.
You see a wheel kick coming, you want to turn your head, right? You want to turn your face. And it's like, no,
Which
you
makes
can't
it
turn your
illegal.
face.
Listen, man, there's no good place to take a wheel kick
Ever.
except the body. Like if you, I would rather take one on the arm or on the body
Still not
and
good.
live. No, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's a bone breaker for sure. It's so crazy that you have to pad up your hands, but you are allowed to spin and with all of your body weight put it in your heel. And what Edson Barboza did to Terry Edom, remember that one? Yeah.
Terry Adams jumping the buses now because
He was
of it.
never the same again after that knockout. I mean, never the same
No.
again. Never the same again. Never fought at that level again. Never
And
came.
that grazed the top of his head.
No,
If
that
you-
bounced off his head.
You'll
dude. I
see it
was
a million
there.
times.
It sounded like a melon. Getting
maybe in
hit with a
person,
bat.
but if the highlight, it doesn't look like it connects flush. It goes boom, top of the head. Because I remember, because that
have
was
to
the
see that
highlight for
again.
these entire fights. They kept showing that, and I was like, God, it doesn't look like it was a fucking straight up heel to the grill.
I'd have to see it again. But the amount of power that you have in all of your body weight, if you have a really good one and you can generate all that fucking torque and your leg comes up and there's so much weight behind it. That's
It's
one of the
hellish.
reasons why I stopped fighting was a knockout when I was 19 years old in Anaheim. I wheel kicked this guy in the head and he never got up. They carried him off the mat. They had him in a stretcher for half an hour and then they brought him to the hospital. It scared the shit out of me. My heel
It's
was
terrifying.
sore. My heel, not my fucking heel.
Yep.
The hard part
Think
from
about
his
his
face
face.
was sore for days. For like 2 days, I was walking with a little limp.
Dude, I was thinking about that last night when Stevens got knocked out by Lemieux, and he just laying there, and there's a stretcher. There's like 5 minutes go by, and you can see him breathing, and Max Kellerman goes, well, at least he's breathing. And then his mom is cage side, and it takes all the fun out of the knockout. I was like, oh, hell yeah.
What
Lemieux.
was it? What kind of knockout?
Boxing, left hook. They exchanged left hooks, and out.
Lemieux got
Wow.
knocked out, or
No, Stevenson.
Oh, right.
Well, you
Anyways, but when he's out on the ground, and I was thinking to myself, what's the protocol? Like, so he's being rushed to the hospital. What are they're looking for brain bleeding there, I guess.
Oh,
so when
yeah.
the guy's out more than 4 minutes, you're in trouble. A lot of trouble.
They have to have really experienced guys who've dealt with those kind of traumatic brain injuries on site to get it and handle it right. That's one of the real issues with those smaller shows where people that want to do smokers. If you're doing a smoker, someone could easily get head kicked with a smoker.
Yeah, man.
And by the way, wheel kicks are legal in a smoker. So think about that. Think about everybody's wearing those padded shin and insteps, but you're not padding up your heel.
No.
If someone decides to spin on you and they catch you in the side of the head, it doesn't matter if you're wearing headgear. Let somebody wheel kick you in the head.
Yeah.
It's like getting hit by a tree. Like your
Baseball
leg
bat.
is so fucking big.
It's a goddamn baseball
Yeah.
bat to your
Oh,
face.
it's
Dude, I'll
dangerous.
tell you who you want by your bedside is Dr. Davidson.
There it is right here. Oh, yeah. Dr. Davidson's amazing.
What's this?
Dr. Davidson for the UFC. Here it is.
Boom! Watch this, though. And in fast motion, the sound is horrible.
Oh my God! What
He's
a perfect left.
And then falls into this thing. He's like that for the next 4 or 5 minutes.